at the complainant, which she was shot several times. You were hereby found guilty of that offense. I now sentence you to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. A deadly weapon named...
It's your boy Uchi. Uchi Court Watch, where we say what everybody in that courtroom's thinking but won't say out loud. Today, a man who fired into a car got the rarest thing the system gives, a second chance instead of prison. 10 years of probation and one job report. He reported once. Let's get into it.
Never came back? -41237 is called Catario Richardson. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. Dusler, and the state's attorney. There is a first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this? Can we proceed in a summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, this motion to revoke your probation alleges that on January 30th, 2023, earlier this year, you were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury, a second-degree felony. Is that true?
So let's set the table. Aggravated assault, a second-degree felony, a firearm in it, and what did he get? 10 years of deferred probation. Deferred means you keep your nose clean. The conviction never even sticks. That ain't a slap on the wrist, y'all. That's the court handing you an eraser and saying, go be free. All they ask back, show up and check in. Hold on to that because it's about to matter.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Number one, state you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office for the months of April 2023 and May of 2023 in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
Yes, sir.
Was he a absconder or did he?
Yes, sir.
How long was he gone?
He only reported on his initial visit, which was March the 1st of this year, and after that, he went off.
Never came back?
Never came.
Is that true? The first one, and then that was it?
One visit, March 1st, and then gone. Not, I missed a couple, not, I was a week late. He checked in one single time and ghosted his own probation like a bad first date. And the judge says, it's perfect. Your feet didn't want you to be there. That's the whole case in one line. He didn't forget to report. He decided reporting wasn't for him. There's a difference between can't and won't, and the court knows exactly which one this is.
No, sir.
You know, that's, if there's, the one thing you have to do is report. If you don't report, you're not on probation. You're not on probation. That's the only way we can supervise you. We can't, there's 5,000 probationers. We can't go out and search them and plead with them to come back. You've got a responsibility that you swore to when you were placed on probation right here. I will follow all the conditions of your signature. I will follow all the conditions, and I know this can be revoked for any violation.
This right here is the lesson, so write it down. Probation ain't a vibe. It's a contract you sign. The judge spells it out. 5,000 people on probation. Nobody's coming to hunt you down and beg you to come back. Reporting is the floor. It's free. It is the easiest thing on the whole list. You don't pay it. You don't pass a test. You just show your face. Miss that, and you ain't on probation anymore. You're just a man who used to be.
Would you explain to the court, as you were trying to tell me earlier, your explanation for what's happened here and why you did not report?
I didn't want to report, but at the time, I had just recently lost my grandmother, and after that, I lost my aunt, both to cancer, and they were my main two supporters. So at the time, I really didn't have a support system I needed, and I tried to find work, but I couldn't. And I know I was supposed to report, but by this being my first time on paper, I really didn't know. And I am expecting a daughter on January the 8th. Like, honest to God, truth, like, you know, I finally found a job. Like, I only worked like 2 weeks. It was like a fast food job, but I ended up coming here.
Now, hold on. Losing your grandmother and your aunt to cancer in the same stretch, that's real pain. And I'm not going to clown a man for grieving. But here's where the logic breaks. Every reason he names, couldn't find work, no support, didn't know. Not one of them explains the one thing. You don't need a job to report. You don't need a ride or a resume. The judge says it cleaner than I can. That's not the point. The point is you didn't report. Grief explains a hard year. It don't explain vanishing.
Here in Beaumont, are called out to the scene of a vehicle that has multiple bullet holes in the rear of the vehicle. The victim had been shot multiple times and was transported to the hospital for treatment. The victim stated while she was placing her child in her vehicle, a red Mercedes SUV occupied by you and two others.
I'm just not sure.
Then don't shake your head. You're going to listen to this because this was admitted and everybody agreed this was true. You and two others pulled up and began to fire rounds into the vehicle. Multiple shell casings were located at the scene.
And here I gotta slow all the way down because this is the part that matters. This was never a paperwork case. By the record, he pleaded guilty to broad daylight, Beaumont, rounds fired into a car, a person hit multiple times, and a 3-year-old caught somewhere in the middle of it. The judge calls it a miracle that child wasn't killed. Sit with that for a second. That is the case they handed him a do-over on, not a fender bender. That's how big the second chance was. A probate, and all it asked in return was show up.
I wanted to say that the child that was my nephew, and the only reason that I shot was because they shot at us first, and I had loved ones in the vehicle, and my nephew wasn't in the car
With a gun in the first place.
It was my aunt's.
No,
And
what are you doing with a firearm, sir?
I had no vehicle.
Why aren't you in school?
Sorry, Judge. Took me a minute. The child was 3.
Child was 3 years old. That would have been capital murder. That child would have been killed.
The,
You'd have had two choices: life without parole or death.
the child.
That's how. Do you understand how serious this is?
Yes, sir. But the child was nowhere in the vehicle because when we pulled up.
So that's okay to shoot around town,
No, I'm saying,
shoot a vehicle,
no, I'm
and
saying
shoot a person.
before we got shot at. The child was already in the house because the woman took the child in the house.
How far did you
And
go in
that's-
school? Why weren't you in school on that day?
Now in court, he's running self-defense. They shot first. The kid wasn't even there. And maybe there's a version of that night. But watch the judge catch it instantly. That's not what you pleaded when you pleaded guilty. He had a trial available. 12 people. The whole thing. He didn't take it. He stood up on his own and said guilty. You don't get to take the plea deal and then re-argue the case at your revocation like the receipts disappeared. The record is the record.
The ones that he's saying are deceased, he told me that he just wasn't taking probation seriously, and now he wants to take probation seriously.
All right. Go ahead. Anything else to add by anybody? You
Anything
may
else you
speak.
want to tell the judge?
I just wanted to say, I do realize I made a mistake and
Which time? Which mistake are you talking about? I see a bunch of mistakes.
both times, but I do want to say, if you allow me a second chance, I do want to complete papers and I will complete papers. I just, like I said, I made a mistake and I just wanted to do right.
And this is the part that sticks with me. The probation officer keeps it 100. He wasn't taking it seriously. And now staring down prison, suddenly he wants to. Then comes the ads. Give me a second chance. I'll complete it this time. My guy, this was the second chance. The deferred probation was chance number 2. You can't burn the second chance and then ask for it back like it's a free refill. The time to take it serious was the visits you skipped back in April.
Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this aggravated assault. And this involved the use of a deadly weapon, namely a firearm. And it states you pleaded guilty by shooting the firearm at the complainant, which she was shot several times. You were hereby found guilty of that offense. I now sentence you to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. A deadly weapon, namely a firearm, will be placed on the judgment, and it will be rendered affirmative finding on the judgment that that is found so based upon the evidence. You understand what has happened to this?
Yes, sir.
That is all.
And there it is. Probation revoked. Guilty. 10 years. The state asked for 10. The judge gave 10 to Drew. And on a deadly weapon shooting, that was already the floor of mercy. Here's the real takeaway. And it ain't even about him. The system will sometimes hand you a do-over you didn't earn. The only way to waste it is to act like the rules don't apply to you. He had the rarest thing in that building, and he couldn't do the easiest thing on earth. Show up. Don't fumble the gift just because the gift came with a calendar. That's the breakdown. A man got handed an eraser and chose to disappear instead, and the math caught up to him. 10 years. If you rock with court breakdowns that tell you the actual law behind the drama, like and subscribe to Uchi Court Watch, and share this with somebody who swears they'll understand if I just don't show up. They won't, and now you can prove it. Your boy Uchi, out.